It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time for me to answer the questions that you guys send in every single week on the BrendenPlayz forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comments section down below. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming off the Raw after Mania, so it was a mediocre Raw. Let's say it was okay at best. It was really nothing special. And I had a few problems with this Raw. You know, normally I'm pretty happy after watching an episode of Raw, but halfway through the show, I clicked off. I started watching some live streams. I just started doing whatever the hell else. You know, I just lost some interest. And it was really, they kind of built the whole show around this triple threat match at the end. But we had all three participants of this triple threat compete in a singles match earlier on in the night. So the crowd was hot for these three guys. You know, Reigns, Ryback, and Orton. They all got great cheers. Rollins got major heat. You know, so all these guys are hot. But so you had your three top baby faces in singles matches. And oh my god, how many times have we seen fucking Roman Reigns versus Big Show? If I see another one of those matches, I swear to God, and trust me, it's going to happen next week, so I'll be swearing to God. But, man, you know, just kind of having these guys in a singles match earlier on the show just really kind of ruined the triple threat. I guess because they knew the triple threat was going to be a fuck finish, that they wanted just to get those guys in and get them a good match and make them all look good before the big one. So I get where they were going with it, but the crowd was just done by the time the triple threat came around, which is not a reason why Raw should not be 3 hours. But anyways, that is just a little bit of what I need to talk about in today's episode of Let's Talk Tuesday. So without further ado, let's get into your questions. The first one is from Robbie Sullivan. What do you think of AJ Lee's sudden retirement? You know, I wouldn't say it's sudden. I think this has been building up for months now. I think ever since the CM Punk thing that broke out and now they have the lawsuit going on, I bet AJ Lee just feels so awkward, so uncomfortable being the company right now. I guess she came back, she had a little bit of a run, got the WrestleMania paycheck, she had an okay end to her career. I mean, I think she should have got like a one-on-one singles match at Mania. She probably should have told him, look, put me against Nikki one-on-one, build as my, you know, I can put Nikki over, whatever, but whatever. It didn't really matter. It was just a throwaway tag team match. She got the win, and then, you know, I guess her retirement to me isn't really that big of a deal, because to me, I've said it before, I have not been a fan of AJ Lee for probably 2 years now. I actually really enjoyed her work in 2012 when, you know, she was with Punk, and she was Bryan, she was with all these different guys, she was the GM, she was doing all that thing. She was a hot commodity on the show. I enjoyed AJ Lee back then. But when she got the Divas Championship, things just started to go south from there. I mean, she had a good start to her reign, and then after a while, it just kind of dragged on. And then she came back after losing the championship to Paige, and ever since she came back from then, to me, she's never been the same. Her look, I don't know what's changed. I don't know what. I think she did her hair differently. I don't know. It just never appealed to me again. I never found her attractive again from there on. And I felt as though her in-ring work and her promo work was just subpar. I mean, I knew that she could do better than that. I just felt as though she was phoning it in. She was just kind of like, okay, whatever. She just didn't care anymore. And you could see that in her work. I could be wrong, but this is just how I perceived it. This is just my point of view from watching her on a weekly basis. I just got the feeling that she did not give a shit anymore. And, you know, I can't blame her. I mean, I guess her husband, you know, was so frustrated. He was probably down in the dumps, never saying a good thing about WWE. So she probably, you know, just went on the same kind of path. She just probably, you know, agreed with him and then started to feel the same way. And I guess her passion just went away. And the thing is, you know, when you're a diva, what can you really do beyond the Divas Championship? You win the Divas title a few times. She won it, I think, 3 times? What the hell can you do after that? You know, in the WWE, if you're a male talent, you go from the US title, you can get a tag team run, you can get an IC title run, and at the end of it, you might get a world title run. In the Divas division, what can you do? You can be a cheerleader, you can be a manager, and then you can win the Divas Championship. And beyond that, there's really nothing you can do. So I guess the career span of these girls probably will only be like 5, 6, 7 years. And AJ, she's no doubt about it. She's been the best diva that they've had for about a decade. You know, since the likes of Lita and Trish and that kind of core group of women from the early 2000s, you know, since they've been gone. AJ Lee, I think, has been the best since then. A lot of people have been asking, does she deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I personally do not think so. I think her career was too short. If she had 2 or 3 more years in the WWE, then I would be considering her a Hall of Fame worthy talent. But I think she just didn't work long enough. You know, you can't really... in my opinion, she didn't really revolutionize the Divas division. Yeah, she did some good things for it. But she was never, like, ridiculously over that, like, in a 4-year, 5-year period of time that she done so much for the Divas division that she deserved to be a Hall of Fame candidate. I just personally don't see that. I think she had a good run, no doubt about it. She had a great career as a diva. But a Hall of Fame career, I really don't think so. If she had held on a little longer, yeah, but I guess, you know, in the end, it's just too much for her to kind of stick around. But, you know, I wish her all the best. You know, like I said, I was a fan of AJ, but I just kind of grew old of her, you know, thing, and, you know, I felt as though she needed a heel turn, but instead she decided to retire. So I think she should have had a better way of going out, but I guess she just wanted to kind of go out quietly and just kind of, like, you know, say enough is enough, I'm done, I don't care, let me get the hell out of here and never come back. So, will I think she wrestle again? I think so. I honestly think she might just do some independent stuff. I think she'll obviously have to wait till her contract with WWE expires. Then I think she might go and do some independents, you know. She's going to be bored. I mean, she's only in her 20s, you know. I don't know what else she can really do with herself, you know. So, the rumors of her being pregnant, I honestly believe that's true. I think she's either pregnant already or she's trying to be pregnant. So she's trying to get there, wants to start a family. And Punk's 36 years old, turning 37, so he's going to want to be, you know, a father pretty soon. And now he's moved away from that. He's doing an easier schedule so he can be home a lot more now he's in the UFC. So it kind of makes sense that she, you know, moves away from the WWE, comes home and, you know, joins Punk at the home life. So like I said, she's going to be a big talent lost, and they're going to really need to fill the void of that, and that's going to be hard to do. I think they're going to have to call up some divas from NXT to try and do that. I think the Battle Royal next week on Raw, you might see an NXT diva debut, and I think it might be Charlotte or Sasha Banks. Alright, I spent an absolute eternity on that question. So next one's from Ramsey Keegan. What are your thoughts on the Lucha Dragons, and how successful do you think they'll be in the WWE? To be honest, I don't see them being a tag team for more than, you know, maybe a year tops. And to be real, they're going to have success because there is literally like 2-3 tag teams that are half decent right now. You got the Cesaro and Kid, you got the Usos, and now the Lucha Dragons. They're the top 3 tag teams. Lucha Dragons are already one of the top tag teams on the show in, 2 weeks. That's how bad the division is. So they're going to get a tag team title run. I think they're probably a very good chance of beating Cesaro and Kid for the titles. And I think they're going to be grooming those guys towards a tag team title feud with Cesaro and Kid. So I think they're going to have big success. I think Kalisto is really the big money between the two. I think Sin Cara is just a failed experiment. And, you know, the only thing keeping him relevant is being in this tag team. So Kalisto is going to be the next big thing. You know, he's going to be a huge superstar, I think. And I think they're just going to keep these guys together for a while, kind of keep this tag division going. And eventually they're going to have these guys break away. And I think Kalisto is going to be a star, and Sin Cara is going to be back to doing what he was doing before, losing every week and eventually not being on the show. This one is from Dr. Larnever. What would you like to see Bray Wyatt do next? Any feuds, maybe a title match down the line? What the hell do you do with Bray Wyatt? Literally, like, what is there you can do with Bray Wyatt? Bray Wyatt is one of the top heels on the show. So, really, you got Ryback, you got Roman Reigns, you got Daniel Bryan, you got John Cena that he can possibly feud with. We've seen Bryan, we've seen Cena. Maybe Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt is the next step. I think that would be pretty cool. Keep those two guys relevant. The other problem is, you know, who wins that feud, because both guys need to win. You know, Bray Wyatt losing to The Undertaker, it's just kind of left like a big question, like a big gaping hole. Like, what do you do with Wyatt next? You know, when are we going to see him in the title picture? I don't know if we will for a while. I just think now that Seth Rollins is a champion, I don't think we'll see Bray Wyatt in the title picture for a while. So what's he going to do next? The really only thing I can see him doing is maybe feuding with Roman Reigns. So, I don't know. This one's from Bashka. What are your thoughts on Cena issuing an open challenge every week? I think it's a good idea. I mean, you keep the US title relevant and the eyes are still on that US title. And obviously, the rumor is he's going to bring in a new US title design as well. So I think Cena's going to be holding that US title for a while. So him holding the US title is obviously going to elevate it a bit. And him defending it all the time is going to keep producing quality matches. You know, the one with Dean Ambrose last week was great. To be honest, I didn't really care for the Stardust one. When I saw Stardust come out against Cena, I kind of turned off Raw and started watching something else. That was kind of like me saying I don't really care at all, and that was kind of like the start of me not watching Raw much very closely. So I think it's a good thing. But the problem is, Rusev, was he even on the show tonight? I may have missed that, but Rusev is just so irrelevant now. He was just gone from this unbeatable Russian guy. Now that Cena beat him, it's just like Rusev is he's done. You know, it's just like that. Rusev has gone from this huge mega heel to nothing, and that's really worrying. And you know, that's kind of why I didn't want Cena to win the US title in the first place, because I knew this was going to happen. But the way I see it, I think Cena's going to do an open challenge all the time, and eventually at one point an NXT guy, I'm hoping like Finn Balor accepts, and he comes out and his full entrance, his gear, you know, the whole awesome entrance that he does, makes a huge impact in his debut and beats the Cena for the title. Now, that's very wishful thinking, but I see that as a great option to debut someone and to keep the open challenge thing relevant. So obviously you're going to have some weeks where it probably will be Curtis Axel. It probably will be, you know, Fandango. Be some scrubs come out, but for a while, you know, as well as that, we're going to see some good matches from it. So if they keep doing it, I think it's a good thing. Next up is from Nabaco7. What do you think Neville will achieve in the main roster? Well, tonight he had a fantastic match with Seth Rollins, and that was a real surprise, and I really like that, because straight away, like, I see this as a kind of very similar situation to the whole John Cena Kurt Angle thing from 2002. You have Neville debut last week, he beat Axel, whatever. You know, it's a good way to kind of showcase him, hit his big move. Alright, people know who he is now. The next week, he steps up and he challenges the champ to a match. So straight away, Neville is on the map. He comes out and he gives the champ a run for his money. So Neville has instantly made the crowd go, okay, this guy, he's legitimate. Okay, this guy is good. So the fans now see him as a legitimate threat to a championship in the future. You know, okay, this guy's not quite there yet, but one day he's gonna be there. That's kind of like the mindset that I took out of that. I think Neville is gonna have a bright future. Do I think he'll win the world title? That's a stretch. I think his promo ability, I've said it before, is awful. His in-ring work is unbelievably amazing. You know, he's so fast, so quick, and it's just so exciting to see him work. It's great, but I think for a while, I think, you know, his size, even though he's a jacked up guy, like, he's not a very tall guy, but he's very built in the chest and the arms, so I think he's going to go some places, no doubt about that. But will he win the world title? I personally don't think so, but we've seen Daniel Bryan do it, and obviously Neville's got a much better figure than Daniel Bryan ever has, but has he got the promo? Yeah, I think Neville, to be honest, is more entertaining to watch than, you know, Daniel Bryan at this point. So, maybe, you know, we've seen stranger things happen. I mean, Rey Mysterio won the freaking thing, so anybody can really win it these days, and most guys aren't exactly big in this day of age. So Neville, I think, could win the world championship, you know, if you kind of compare it to, you know, those kind of guys. But I think for a while, I think they're going to continue to push him at around that mid-card level, and I would love to see Neville and Daniel Bryan actually have a feud for that championship. I think that'd be great. So we'll have to wait and see, but I still think they're going to, you know, push him strong. They'll keep him away from a title for a while. I don't think they should rush him into that. Give him a slow build, make him put on some great matches, and make him earn the respect of the crowd, and we'll go from there. Next one's from Larry Williams. How do you feel about the repackaging of the Primetime Players, and what do you think the WWE can do to save the tag team division? Well, for one, you need more tag teams, and you need more legitimate tag team threats to the championship. Primetime Players, I think they should have won the tag titles years ago. I absolutely love the Primetime Players, and I thought their little skit tonight, you know, dissing the Ascension of New Day was funny. I loved it. So to me, the Primetime Players, you keep doing them things like that, the crowd are going to laugh, The crowd are going to enjoy them, and the crowd are going to like them. We've got the Millions of Dollar dance, which I think is great. Tyson's got his big, thing he does, which I think is cool. So I think Primetime Players just have a great package together. I think they work well as a tag team, and I think Titus, he's funny. Titus is a legitimate funny guy, and Darren really plays his part quite well. Like I said, I really enjoyed their segment tonight, and I thought both guys are really good. So I really enjoy those two guys. I think they should be tag champs at one point. So I think they got to be starting to get that push to make them legitimate. I'm hoping it happens. I really am. As for the rest of the tag team division, like I said, you just need a few more tag teams. You need 2 or 3 more tag teams, and then you need to have tag team storylines. Because right now, it's basically, all right, these guys, they beat a couple of guys a few weeks ago. They've won a couple matches in a row. All right, they'll get a tag team match. It's really no storylines. I mean, what we had the whole Naomi and Natalia and that crappy storyline for WrestleMania, that was awful. And it was on the pre-show, so they need to start taking the tag team division seriously and start giving these guys proper airtime, proper storylines. The tag team division at this point is almost as bad as the Divas division. It's that bad. It's really concerning, and considering where tag team wrestling's been in the past, it's a major concern. I still love tag team wrestling, so they need to fix their shit, really. Tag team division is pretty easy to do. I mean, come on. I personally think they should have an old guy like a Mark Henry team up with a Big E, a Big Show work with someone, a Kane work with someone. These older veterans, team them up with a young guy who's struggling a little bit, and it keeps them relevant. You got a name next to these guys. It's an easy way to do it. And, you make more tag teams. Yeah, they don't have to be tag teams that came up in the business together. Those days are long gone. It's pretty rare nowadays. So, to just throw these two guys together and give them a chance, why not? We need to do it. And there's a lot of guys on the roster that are doing absolutely nothing. So, just give them a tag team. It's easy. I don't know why it's so difficult. And, they've got so many shows they can actually showcase them on. So, there's really no excuse. We haven't had one of these for a while. It's a TNA question. It's from Jeremy Bastian. What do you think about Kurt Angle winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Lashley? Pretty simple. 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. Kurt Angle, 45 years old. He's past it. I know Lashley's like 40 years old. The TNA, I guess, they are a sinking ship. They've got absolutely no buzz about them anymore. And to be honest, I think Lucha Underground's overtaken them. TNA may have a better network, barely, but eventually Lucha's going to get on a better network. And once Lucha gets on a better network, and I honestly think somebody like Spike might even be considering Lucha, because Lucha is amazing. TNA, they're done. They got very subpar ratings, and there's really nothing they can do to improve the show. The ratings it is what it is. Their brand name is so tainted at this point, there's nothing to do. So having Kurt Angle win the belt achieves nothing. It's not really planning for the future. But to be honest, do they even have a future? I don't know. So, look, I don't really care. I don't watch TNA anymore, and, who cares, really? So, Kurt Angle winning the belt, all I have to say is, like I said, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. Next one's from Phil Brooks. Would you never play any WWE games again and get $20,000, or not get the money and just keep playing WWE games? Now, that's a good question, because 20 grand is pretty freaking good. But if I kept my YouTube channel going and kept doing what I'm doing, eventually I'm going to make more than 20 grand. It's going to take a long time, but eventually I will get there. So in the short term, if I wanted to quit and never play WWE games again, I'd be cool with that for 20 grand. But I still have so much passion for YouTube and the WWE games at the moment. I don't want to quit. I want to keep playing them. So to me, I'm just going to keep playing the games. I'm going to turn down 20 grand. Now, if it was 100 grand, I'm taking the fucking money. Last one's from Best In Class Gaming. Do you ever see yourself doing a face reveal? And I have trouble navigating the forums. Can you help? Well, of course I can help you on the forums. Shoot me an email and I'll give you help. Brendan@BrendenPlayz.com is my email. As for the face reveal, of course I'm going to do a face reveal eventually. Of course I'm going to start doing vlogs. Of course I'm going to go down that avenue. But I just feel as though I don't need to yet. I'm not ready for that yet. It's not as though I think, oh my god, I'm so ugly, I don't want the world to see me. It's not that at all. I just don't think that I am ready for that yet. I just don't think I need to go that way yet. and I don't think there's really a need for it. I've done a face reveal on my Twitch stream before. I did it once, and it was okay. Like, I didn't really care. I mean, I will do a face reveal when I hit a big milestone, when I think that my channel needs to take that next step. And as for a milestone, I'm nearly at 25k. I just hit 24k today. And when I hit 25k, I'm going to do a setup video. So when I do some milestones, probably the next one realistically is 50,000. So maybe I'll do a 50,000 subscriber face reveal. I don't know. That will do it for today's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. If you did enjoy it, please RKO that like button. Samir, I got you, baby. And of course, you got to hit the subscribe button to see more Let's Talk Tuesday videos coming up in the future weeks. If you want to leave a question, you can do so in the comment section down below or at the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums. The link to the Let's Talk Tuesday thread is in the description below. Guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next Tuesday.